Welcome to the Winedown, an afternoon podcast where two techie blokes sit down over a bowl of wine and chat about what's happening in the world of tech. Enjoy while Scott and Nick open up about their week in technology.
I'm here with
Scott.
Hello, Scott. How are you?
Good. Hello, Nick. Another week.
Another week, another wind down. There we go.
The days go by so quickly in lockdown, don't they?
They do, and weekends don't seem to be weekends either. I don't know if you've noticed, but you get to Monday and you go, "Yeah, that feels really similar."
So I did tacos on Monday night. And my wife says, "Hang on, it's supposed to be Tuesday. Gee, Taco Tuesday." I said, "Well, no one knows anymore. Doesn't matter."
No one knows. Very good. So, most important question of the week: where are we? What are we drinking?
We are yet again in lockdown in our little cubicles of focus, I suppose. But I dug up something from this is Kalarin. This is Canberra's oldest winery. Now,
wow.
Having said that, Canberra's not on the world stage for the wineries of note. So the oldest winery is like from the 1970s, but it's just at the edge of Lake George there. It's interesting.
Cool.
I've
always liked Lake George because it's not got much water in it, really, does it?
Yeah, and it's either really empty or really full, and there can be like a foot of water difference.
Yeah.
But, the Canberra wines are interesting though. They used to be sort of, you can produce a wine, okay. But now they're actually getting a bit of distinction in them. It's not bad. This is a nice little Syrah, 2018 Syrah. Yeah, it's getting there.
Oh, okay. Well, I have a 2015 Shiraz from the McLaren Vale. I'll let you see that there.
Oh, yeah.
Red Knot. Yeah, it's got lots. It's got 3 gold medals. None of it from the same year. Oh no, we've got 2017 Syrah du Monde gold medal from France. So I should be trying that shortly. Let's have a sip for you. When I sip my wine, and you can tell everybody about what we're talking about today.
Well, we thought we'd talk a little bit about automation and what's possible within a business and what the sort of benefits are. Because it all sounds very exciting, but part of this is let's look at some real world examples of how people are doing things, what's possible, and just to sort of get a bit of messaging out there about, hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you thought about how you can improve productivity, be more efficient, and so.
Cool. That's not only is it a good idea, but I think people don't realize what they have in their toolkit. And I think it was Bill Gates who said he's rumored to have said, I don't know if he really said it, I didn't hear him, but is rumored to have said he likes to hire smart, lazy people because smart, lazy people will automate their jobs. Yes.
It's a great idea too. Business at the speed of thought.
Yes. So I've always been a fan of automation, and I'm lucky I can script and I can code. But you don't need those type of skills now to automate your business, do you?
No, not at all. We've gone to, I suppose, what you call the next generation of systems where you can sort of be a bit intuitive about what it is you're trying to do, and the systems can help you do that. You don't need to know the specifics. They're actually getting to the point here, and I'm thinking specifically even about networking at the moment. It used to be if you wanted to do something on a network, like configure a firewall or configure a switch, or connect into it, you needed to know the commands, you needed to understand what you were doing, and hopefully you got it right. You didn't break something else along the way. In the last few years, there's been a thing called intent-based networking, where you just sort of tell the tool what it is you're trying to achieve, and the tool goes and works it out and configures all the gear for you. Now, that's evolved quite a lot, and it's the same sort of thing with automation in general workflows and PCs and the tasks that you would be doing these days. You don't need to understand the underlying mechanics of how all the bits and pieces work. You just sort of need to have a better idea about, look, what I want to do, drag, drop, click, click. Oh, look, that happens. But you've got to do it.
So we're going to focus today not on home automation. We're going to focus on automating bits of your business. So I think people's first comment when you talk about automation is one quite often of fear. right? If I
Mm.
automate this bit of my job, will I have a job anymore? What are
Will the
your
robots
thoughts
come?
on that?
Yes.
Well, when the
Oh,
robots, this week I've been playing with OpenAI's Codex, which actually
yes.
writes code for you, so it actually automates the process of creating code, which is obviously the first response from lots of people was, "Oh, that's the end of developers." But you've got to put it
No.
together, so it gets rid of the grunt work, but you still have to do the thinking bit.
Yeah, and look, the first thing I'd say to all of this is, if you are not doing this, your competitors are. So if you think about, oh, hey, this is going to take my job away, this is going to, no, it's not. It's going to make you more productive and stop doing some of the more mundane things that you're spending a lot of time doing, but are perhaps providing less and less bang for buck based upon the amount of time you're spending doing it.
So I was going to say, people are inherently bad at those things as well. You know, the let's copy
Yes.
10,000 rows from over here to over there is a really good way to introduce errors into your data.
Oh, look, absolutely. Things like reporting, manually building Excel sheets to do things. Manually, as you said, moving data around, manually printing off stuff on paper and then shuffling it around and then scanning it back in when you've written words on it.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, which
and,
I think my favorite one, you can tell how much a business thinks about automation when you look at one of their spreadsheets and you see colors and you see, you know, they've colored rows to say something, or you see freeform text saying just like, oh, watch this one, blah, blah, blah. You just know that they've put emotion and humans into a process which really should be automated and be strict.
yeah, well, that's it. And we spoke about CRMs recently.
Yep.
And that at a really basic level, a CRM could be a spreadsheet of names, very, very basic level.
Mm-hmm.
But it's about what can you do with that. And this is why you end up putting data into systems where those systems can use that data, not just as a list of customers in the case of a CRM, but can actually do things with them. Automate sending a message out. Hey, have you seen my new version of something? Or, hey, my new widget is available in stores now. Have you seen this? And whatever it's going to be. But it's that automation that's really going to save you time and money. MailChimp, for example, you could go and email 10,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it costs, I don't know, $100 a month or something. Previously, you'd have to pay someone to go and print a bit of paper off, go and, put it into an envelope, put a stamp on it and do whatever. And then that process got automated by machines that would print and fold the paper and then shove it in an envelope. And then you got the automatic stamping machines. And because it all goes on from this is the whole path of where we're trying to get to. You've probably got to understand in your businesses, am I at the stage of I've got someone manually printing things, folding them, putting them in envelopes and putting a stamp on to get my communications out? Or am I at the other end where I've got a fully fine-grained implemented process that does all the work for me, and I sit back and watch the results and I can focus on the bigger things?
And I think that's that whole process of getting rid of those things, that busy work, I tend to call it, does a couple of things, right? It not only improves the quality, it not only means you can focus on other things, but businesses that do it end up having less issues. They can make more money. Automation just improves your business out of sight, right?
Absolutely.
So some automation, we've seen in business is things like accounting software. When I was taught to do accounting, it was all done on paper. You used to write everything in ledgers and that kind of, I'm not that old, but that's how they taught it. But now you use software to automate that. Right. So there's that step. So that bit of the business, if you're still, if you've still got shoeboxes full of receipts and stuff like that, then you're doing that bit wrong. Right. You want to be looking at a modern cloud-based accounting software that does that. But I've seen the rise probably over the last 10 years of tools which automate bigger things. So the ability for you to create a workflow, if you will, and then automate bits of your business. And the first example I saw was a thing called If This Then That, which was an online service that you can get. If this happens, go and do this thing. And then Microsoft bought out what was called Flow and is now called Power Automate. And I've seen they've extended that now. It used to just work with cloud-based systems. There's now some software you can install on your desktop, and it will actually automate programs on your desktop, which is just crazy cool stuff. That robotic process automation, I think that stuff's called.
Huh. Bring on the robots.
So you were doing some automation last week. You were building automated proposals for us.
Right?
Right?
I was.
Talk to me about the traditional process of writing a proposal, the way you used to do it, and how that happens now, and why that's better.
So look, it's interesting. We used to produce proposals, and this is going back a few years, but we would go and visit a client, talk about what we can do. They'd say, "Oh, I've got problems with this, this, and this. Can you help?" Oh, yeah, okay. We'd go away and produce a proposal that said, "We understand your problem is this, this, and this. We can help by doing this, this, and this. We would do it this way. We would involve this many people, and here's a time frame. And it's going to come into this sort of, it's going to cost about this much." And then when you look at that, go, "Oh, if we're going to charge someone for this, we better tell them a bit about the business." So you then add a few pages on who we are, put a couple of case studies in there. All of a sudden, you've got a nice little 100-page document. Oh, that's brilliant. That document is perfect. I'm going to submit that. That is going to win an award for the world's best-looking document. And off it goes. And then you don't win.
Yep.
You go, "Hang on, that was a great document. I just spent hours and hours and hours writing that. Why would that not be successful?" And then you find out that, well, you go and talk to the potential client who you found. So what happened? Oh, we ended up going with Fred down the road. They can do it, but look, they just told us, and they sent me an email saying they're going to do this, this, and this, and it was that much, and it was a lot easier to understand. You also had to wade through 100 pages of stuff and didn't know where to start. I thought, oh, that's depressing. So we started to simplify proposals, and all of a sudden we're taking out big chunks of them so that we don't need the things that people don't read anyway. They become shorter and shorter and shorter, to the point where our quoting tools can actually do this. Now, we use one more specific to the IT industry, but there are other ones around now that can integrate with most things. There's easily half a dozen of these where you can have some defined templates. Templates have got all the wording and all the document stuff in there already, and you just add in pages or the sections, or you can take them out, and there's your automated proposal. So if I went and saw a client, I know that, oh, I want this, this, and this. I can just go click, 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 maybe put in a couple of words here and there and go send. And electronically sent back to that client pretty much straight away. So I could get a proposal back within an hour. There it is. They can review it online on the screen. If they want to go ahead, they click, they electronically sign the document, and it comes back. But it doesn't just sit there. It actually goes into our operational systems and says, oh, hey, you've sold something. This client wants this. Oh, it's that, that, and that. I'm going to generate some work tickets for this, for that. I'm going to create that. I'm going to put an entry in our accounting system that says, oh, new client, create them in there. I'm going to go and define them here. And all of a sudden, this is all set up and done for us without us having to do any manual tasks. That's what we've gotten to.
That's super cool, right? I'm sure people listening go, wow, I wish I had that in my business. So that's really cool. One of the things we've done in my bit of the business is we've automated. There's a document we create called a functional and requirement specification. So when you're writing software, it defines what it is you're going to build. We have a tool that builds that for us now. So we create everything as an issue in our code management system. We use GitHub, and we have a tool which creates a document, but all of the issues and tasks are already in there, which is just awesome. Then the other thing we do as well is clients like to know, what have you done over the last week or month or 30 days? And we have a tool which automates that as well. So their report on what we've done and what we're doing gets delivered in like no time out of the systems we use every day. So it's always up to date, and nobody has to write anything anymore apart from work in the systems where we do our work anyway. So that type of automation's super cool. Then there's opportunities there. What do you reckon are the other opportunities for automation that you see? You walk around businesses all the time and you see them doing things. What opportunities should someone listening look for automation? Then how would they go about automating something?
Reporting is a big one, and it's not just to produce the reports that you use today more efficiently, but it's also to produce the reports you wish you had.
Mm-hmm.
And in some cases, you'll have people going into one system or into another system, and then manually creating a spreadsheet and drag and drop and then put those numbers somewhere else. And look, there's lots of ways to do this.
Yep.
There's reporting to them. Even if you get like 20 years, crystal reports started to come out because of this. And
Yep.
It was a nice little reporting tool. It said, I can produce a report. I've got all these connectors into all these different database systems and all these different applications. You tell me what bit of data you want from what system. I'll go grab it and then stick it on this report I'm creating for you. It became very popular.
So we've got Power BI now,
Yes.
which has taken us away. So Crystal's very much about creating that traditional kind of paper report, right? It's used a lot to create invoices and those types of things as reports. But now we're in the world of, data analytics and dashboarding and visualization. So we're automating that. So you no longer go, here's a report. You go, here's a dashboard, and I'll drill into what I want to see, right?
Yeah. And my data is real time.
Yes.
It's not just as of a month ago or yes.
Yep. Yeah, but that snapshot data is important too, right? You want to see where you were a month ago versus now. But so Crystal reports you had to buy, but now you've got Power BI, and Power BI desktop's kind of free. And if you've got Office 365, you've got some Power BI capability. If this then that you had to buy, but now we've got Power Automate. Do you think there's enough tools in something like Office 365 to actually deliver on a whole bunch of these things, Scott?
Oh, look, absolutely. And look, even I know once you get a bit more into the advanced Power BI parts and start doing certain types of publishing, you may have to buy a license. But we're talking about $20 a month. And realistically, if we can automate your business for $20 a month, is that really an issue? And most people will quite happily go, oh, that's great, off you go. When you look at what it's going to cost to have a person there for a month, an extra $20 isn't really here or there when we're talking about automating and making them more efficient. So, look, there's a lot of stuff built into Office now to at least do the basics and get people started. There are more specialist websites that deal with a whole bunch of things. Not everybody uses Office. Say that. Some people might have things in Google. Some people may have things in other systems for whatever reason. And you've got to respect all of that, and it all comes together. But that's the whole thing, that wherever your data is, you need to be able to get to it, to access it, to be able to use it as a tool to help drive the business, not have your data treating you as a prisoner, saying, hey.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Cool. So that's kind of fascinating and cool. And we talked about automation. Why do it? Because this is an investment in time, and it's an investment in technology, and someone's got to learn how to do it, and it's going to take them away from copying things from place A to place B. What's the business imperative to automate? What could I change if I'm sitting here listening and I'm running I'm running anything from a doctor's surgery to an accounting firm? Automating processes in my business will do what to my things I care about?
Well, one, it allows you to scale, but scale with a guarantee of how you're going to produce an output every time. And that's one. Not everybody wants to scale. I get that. But let's say you've got a sales team and you're adding more salespeople. Then you think about, okay, there's 10 salespeople. Those 10 salespeople go and see 10 potential clients. What were those potential clients just been given? If you went and got 10 proposals, would they all look the same, or would they all be very different? You think about, great, so we're going out with different messaging all over the place. Or, oh, look, this one wasn't proofread. Oh, this one didn't look great. This one, this one missed pages. Well, how are they going to know we're going to do this? And so you start to automate some of the tools and some of the systems, which means you're delivering the same thing every time. It's consistency. Consistency then allows scale and efficiency. If you know you've really got the ability to do something the same way every time very efficiently, great. We don't have to worry about that anymore. Let's focus on where's our next client going to come from, or what other opportunities would exist in our existing clients, because we know that the current work we're doing, we've made really efficient. So, great. Let's see what else we can get.
Cool. No, I get it. So the more you automate, the more business you can get, right? The more you're consistent, the more things don't break, the more you can have either more clients to do more things for your existing clients.
Exactly. Well, look at Xero. There's a reason why people use tools like Xero or Quicken in the US, QuickBooks, those sorts of tools, because it's a lot more efficient than writing them manually down on a journal on a bit of paper and trying to produce a result. And then knowing that if 10 people did that the same way, hopefully you'll get the same thing and people can add up. And this is the whole thing. That's the fundamental approach. Data
Cool.
is available for everyone to see and do things with.
So there's the benefit. How would you get started?
I guess part of this is pick something in the business. Identify where you're spending a lot of manual time in your business. Is it writing reports? In which case, pick 2 or 3 reports that are really like, oh, every month I've got to do this and it takes me half a day to generate these 2 reports, but they're really important. Okay, let's look at that. Where does that data come from? Great. Is there a system available that talks to those applications or those functions that could get that data and perform a calculation on it or do something like that? This sort of stuff is available very easily these days. In Power BI, yes, within Office 365, we'll do a lot, but it also says, do I have my data readily available and can I connect to it? That's a sort of an easy one from the reporting side. But yeah, there's other ways. But processes as well. We've seen some horrendous business processes. Sometimes that's actually a matter of, well, we need to decide in the business, is this the best process for us these days?
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of people try and automate a bad process and wonder why they get a more consistent and more rapidly done bad result, right? It's engineering those, we used to call it business process re-engineering, if you remember back in the day.
I remember that term, yes. It was popular for a while and then very unpopular.
Yes.
But look, here's a basic one, expenses. Xero has 0 expenses. Now, I've seen it's about $5 a person, I think. Yeah, okay, but what happens is instead of a person incurring an expense out in the field, and then having here's a paper receipt, I'm going to go and take that back to the office. I've got to print off this A4 page. I've got to write the details in, I'll type them in, whatever, then take photocopies of my receipts and staple them all together and then mail it in for someone to work through and do whatever. So, man, you know how much time that takes?
Yeah.
Whereas 0 expenses, and it's not just this one, there's quite a few of these types of tools out there. You get a receipt, you take a photo.
I'd be careful with that one because I'm sure there's people out there who don't claim expenses because it's too hard. And suddenly if you turn something like that on and everybody's efficiently claiming expenses, it could be horrendous.
Yeah, but you're not going to properly grow and scale a business more efficiently and effectively on the basis of poor process and poor data. So I mean, you get out there, if you get an expense, someone gives you a receipt, you take a photo of it, you submit it, you walk away, and that's it. Now, as a business owner, I'd say, that's great. I know exactly, more or less real time, what my expense liability is. And those expenses are all of a sudden in the books or waiting to be approved, where I can go and I approved that, and it goes into this GL account and that GL account, and bang, it's in the account. I don't have to employ people to sit there and type it in. It's great.
A huge difference, right?
It's $5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff in Xero. I love that. There's lots of cool things like that. So automation's something to do. People should go and find, whether it's reporting or a process, find a way to automate it. Look for tools to do it. There's stuff in, as we said, Office 365, but there's also stuff in Xero and on the marketplace. So you kind of think about it as we're 25 minutes in, wrapping it up. I'm a huge fan of automation. I always said, if you do something once, that's fine. If you do it twice, you need to be thinking about automating it. And if you do it a third time and haven't automated it, you should be fired, which is an extreme way of saying, because I work with people who write software, right? We're about automation. But if you look around your business today and you see things that aren't automated, right? That should be a red flag to a business owner.
It is. And I'd say that automation is your paradigm shift into the new level of where you need to be. If you think just quickly about, you go back to the 90s, the 2000s, large corporations started sending massive loads of administrative work off into the Philippines or India or wherever it was, because they had a lower cost base. And all of a sudden, instead of having 50 people here doing a whole bunch of admin work, you may have 200 people in a different country doing this work, and it's costing you less. Yes, but that's really making an inefficient process less costly to the business. Automation says, let's make the process efficient and have the computer do it in the first place, and it just sort of removes the need to have it outsourced in the first place.
So the message at the end of this is get the computer to do it, right?
Get the computer to do the work. You already own the computer. Get it to do some stuff for you.
That's cool, Scott. Thank you. That was a good chat. So for those of you who are watching us live or will watch later, thank you so much for listening to us ramble on again. We certainly appreciate it. Do leave a like or a comment if there's something you'd like us to discuss, and make sure you subscribe either to the audio version on your favorite podcast tool or on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn to watch the video version. So Scott, thank you once again.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.